Greetings, listener. Please enjoy the unintelligible ramblings of your favorite dynamic trio, Arva, Farah, and Westy, in my vain attempts to fix Westy's audio. Welcome to The Unintelligibles.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Unintelligibles. It's my turn to host this week. Me, Farah, the bat. I am joined by my co-host, Westy, the cat.
Hi, I have Starbucks.
Ah, what kind?
Damn.
It's a chai tea latte with cinnamon and there's one other thing in here, but I don't remember what it is.
That's what I get.
Yeah, it's the best. Serve it cold and you just give it a nice little shake. Tastes like Christmas in a cup.
And Arva the dog.
Hi, I don't have Starbucks, and now I'm sad.
I want Starbucks. You made me.
I
I made me
know.
want it.
If you're listening
Especially
to this
chai
episode-
tea is what I get.
If you listen to this episode, order them both Starbucks to their Twitch accounts. It'll get there, trust me.
No.
You should. No,
Maybe.
Yeah, you should.
No, but maybe.
No.
No.
Wow. Well, I mean.
What? When you put it that way, you know.
Okay, so I already said in a previous episode what my my topic was gonna be, and I'm sticking with it. I didn't forget. I don't know if you guys did, but I did not.
Oh, I don't remember the last 24 hours. I took an edible last night
It
to
all
chill.
worked out. It all worked out.
It did. It's true.
All right, so I want to talk about like I don't want to limit it to like car accidents, maybe just like bad driving experiences. But I will be talking about car accidents that I have been in personally. And Westy's not allowed to double up on his car troubles from when he moved across the
God
country.
Damn
We've
it.
already talked about that.
That's fine, because guess what?
fair.
I have more cars that caught on fire. Maybe I'm the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a few. Maybe I'm the drama.
Damn. Am I the drama?
Maybe.
Damn it.
So, I've been in 2 accidents. One of them was like not really an accident, but the first accident that I was in was not my fault. And it was whopping 2 days after I got my driver's license, which was great because I was super nervous. I wasn't a very good driver at that point because I literally had just got my driver's license. But I was driving into town, and there is a traffic circle roundabout. What, the one with 2 lanes? Roundabout, I think.
Roundabout, yeah.
Roundabout, yeah. And one of the lanes coming out of the roundabout, not like immediately, but a little ways up, was closed for construction. And the roundabout was super backed up. Like there were people in the roundabout that were like in a lineup, which don't do that. But I was so confused because I was like, why is there a big line of people? And I went into the lane that had no people in it, and then I realized that the road was closed ahead. But as I was driving past all these cars, realizing that there was a road closed ahead, this woman in a white car all of a sudden pulls into my lane. I think she was trying to skip the line, and I was like a foot from her when she did this, so I had no time to stop. I was going maybe 30 kilometers an hour, and I smacked into the side of her car, and we just stared at each other.
No.
And it was 2 days after I got my driver's license. I started crying immediately. I was like, why did she do that? Like, why did she pull into my lane? And she proceeded to reverse to like get away from me. I couldn't do anything because on the other side of me it was a curb, so I couldn't go anywhere. There was also a car behind me, so I couldn't reverse. She reversed, and in the process of reversing, her front bumper like came off. So I was like, well, fuck. I drove to like the nearest gas station, and she followed me. And I called my dad because I was like, I don't know what to do. They were away at like a rodeo, so they were like an hour away.
They have
I had
rodeos
to.
in Canada.
Oh, in Alberta? Are you kidding? Yeehaw! This is
Oh.
the Texas of
That's
Canada.
true. That's true.
Oh, you know what? Like, never been, but I will take your word for it.
There's a lot of rodeos in the summer in Alberta.
Oh,
They drove
interesting.
though from an hour away to the lady had gone by then, but it was old woman. She was probably in her 60s or 70s, and she came out and she looked at me, and one of the first things that she said was, "You know that was your fault, right?" And at the time, I was like, I just couldn't. I was crying. And so she was like, "I need your insurance and registration." And then I gave it to her. And then I took a picture of her license plate. I didn't ask her for her insurance or registration. I didn't ask for her name. I was like distraught,
Hmm.
and
Mhm.
I had never been in an accident before, so I didn't know what to ask for. And she was like, "How old are you?" And I was like, 18. And she was like, "Mm-hmm." And I'm like, "What does
Oh.
that mean?"
What a
So
bitch.
she drove away before my dad got there. I was like, "My dad's coming," and she was like, "Okay, bye."
Oh.
So I sat in this gas station parking lot and cried in my back seat until my parents showed up. And then my dad was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "She pulled out in front of me, and she said it was my fault." And he was like, "Take me back to the roundabout and drive to the spot where it happened." And I showed it to him, and he was like, "She pulled into your lane?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You were driving straight when it happened." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, then it was her fault. Like, she pulled into your lane. Even if you hit her, she cut you off." And
Mm.
I was like, "Okay." And so he was like, "She was at fault." And I was like, "Okay." By the way, remember how I said that there was a long ass line of cars right beside me? Nobody came with us. Not a single witness apparently to this incident.
Oh.
Hmm.
So when they called to get my statement, I told them what was what, and they said to me that my statement and the woman's statement did not align.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, yeah, no shit.
So there were no witnesses. She had a passenger, but passengers don't count as witnesses because they're biased.
Yes, yeah.
So what I think she said, and we kind of deduced this based on what the guy was asking me, because he asked me like, "You weren't in the roundabout," and I was like, "No, I was not in the roundabout." He's like, "Your tires were straight," and I was like, "Yes, I was. It was not in the roundabout." I'm pretty sure what she told them is that we were in the roundabout and I cut across into her lane and hit her, which is not at all even remotely what happened. We were fully outside of the roundabout and she came into my lane. There was actually a Jeep right in front of me, and she waited for that Jeep to pass her before she cut into the lane, and I think she just forgot to shoulder check. So it's like, bitch, if I was in the wrong, how come you didn't run into the Jeep in front of me? So in the end,
Yeah.
they did the thing, which I think this is dumb. When they don't know who's at fault, they make you pay for each other's damages. I think you should have to pay for your own damage, because this bitch had thousands of dollars in damage to her car because her bumper needed to be replaced. Her front bumper came off of her car.
Oh, right.
I had no damage to my car at all. So her insurance had to pay nothing, and our insurance had to pay like $3,000
What the fuck?
That's insane.
for something that was fully her fault, but there was no proof of it. So they just said, "We don't know who was at fault." There's no like they were in the process of putting a set of lights there. So at the time there was no like cameras. There is now, but there wasn't. So, and nobody, all of the fucking big ass line of cars, nobody came with us. It was 5 p.m. on a Friday. They all just wanted to go home. So, yeah. That was
Man.
first accident that I ever had was not my fault, but that bitch was a liar.
You know, you can get like a little dash cam for pretty cheap, and it usually helps with small things like that.
Yeah, I'm sure that would help. Too bad.
Yeah, I was gonna
That
say
was
if
years
you're
ago.
well, if you're out there now and you're just learning to drive, a dash cam is like $35.
Yeah, invest in a
Like you
dash
don't even
cam.
have to like you don't even have to get them professionally installed. You can just run the wire like along the frame or just get one that records on an SD card over and over. So
Yeah.
if something does happen, hey, you're covered. And it was only $35.
Yeah, it's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, they're not expensive at all. They're pretty freaking cheap.
Mhm.
Same with like shitty cameras that you can just like hook up at your front door.
Yes.
Yes.
Like a cheap camera, if you get one of those like a motion sensor light, that only costs like $60.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it-
it's worth it for sure.
It helps a
You
lot, and
never
it's a
know.
deterrent.
It is, yeah. Even if it doesn't catch anything, people will see it and they will like stop fucking around. They'll be like, "Oh, they have a camera.
Especially
They're not
motion
gonna
sensor
you.
lights.
Guess I'll leave.
Guess I'll leave," unless they're crazy, and then they'll go for it anyways. But then, you couldn't have done anything in that situation.
Right.
At least you'll have it in video.
Yeah, exactly. See?
And then the police will be like, "Oh, there's nothing we can do. Sorry."
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
Like, great.
Exactly.
I brought you literal video evidence, and this is what I get. Yeah, that's a nightmare. If that was my first accident, oh my god, I would do the same. I would have just been bawling the whole time.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I was 18. I had just got my driver's license. I was having a time.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Was not mentally prepared. I was also like severely depressed at the time, so
No.
did not help.
Oh no.
Well, I have a pretty intense story.
Oh no.
So I'm genuinely gonna put a disclaimer before I tell this story that like it's pretty heavy. It deals with themes of death.
AFK,
Don't worry.
warning signs, police
The
tape.
person who died is alive again. It's me. But
It's me. I died.
but just a heads up, this is a very serious accident, and I code it very thinly because I've experienced it and I'm at peace with it. But in the summer of, I think it was 2017, so I was 17. I was just fresh of getting my my new driver's license, which means I could drive legally on my own in a car. And I had a friend that always went out at night with, and she would let me drive her car, slash anyone who had a license would drive the car. Not the best idea. We're stupid teenagers. We'll skip that part. We've all been there. Or not all, but like most of us. So we would take that car and we'd go to this special little like back roads place in the farmlands where it was just like straight road, and we would speed, or I would speed, because stupid teenagers. Nothing will kill me. I'm invincible. I got my license now. I drive a car. You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
Learned a lot from this. Don't worry, I don't drive like this anymore. But I one night decided to speed down a road that had these automatic sensor lights because it was like a really sketch area. Like this was a bad area to be in, even if we weren't doing bad things. It was just a bad area in general. But we loved it back there. I don't know, something about the thrill of like a back roads at night in a tiny little Toyota Corolla was so fun. And so we were driving down this little stretch of road. It was I don't know how long it was. It was a fairly long stretch of road, but it was like pitch black out. And I've been down this road before, so I should have known how long it was, but I was just going for it. I won't disclose how fast, but I was going very fast. And the lights are slowly like flipping on one by one because we're driving past them, but I can't see what's in front of me like at all. And I know the road ends at one point. I just don't know where. And the last light flicks on, and all of a sudden there's just no road ahead of me. I'm going like way too fast to slow down, stop at all. And the road is both gravel and there's a ditch at the end.
Oh no.
So even if I could slow down, I'm not stopping on gravel. So we get to that point. The brakes slam on. I slam on the brakes. hit a median that was supposed to be at the end of the road, but has sunk down. So it was more like under the road, which flipped the car. And I flipped the car upside down into a ditch, which, since it was summertime, there was water in the ditch. So 3 teenagers flipped in a car upside down in water. I immediately couldn't get my seatbelt off and was panicking because I knew it was coming. I was aware. I wasn't stupid. Well, I was a stupid teenager. That's why I got in the spot. But I wasn't aware, or I was aware of the fact that, I'm probably going to die. Unless by some luck my seatbelt comes off or I can get out of this car somehow, I didn't even know we're upside down. It happened so fast that I was just in shock in the water. I could hear my friends splashing around, so I was just sitting there kind of at this point accepting my fate because there's no way of me getting out. So I was just like, please, hopefully my friends can get out of this accident. I know I'm not, but I don't want to be responsible for killing 2 other people. If I die, it sucks. I don't want to die, but I caused this. So I've already accepted everything. I luckily pass out before I drown, so I didn't experience any of that. I had the whole life flash before my eyes, everything. But I was very much at peace. And then I wake up in a hospital because my other 2 friends managed to get out. One of them was not wearing her seatbelt. So honestly, thank God we landed in water because she managed to get out of the car and then bring her other friend out of the car, which they were fine. And they checked, they made sure they're okay. And then they went back to get me. At this point, I was already dead. I was dead in the car. So they grabbed my body, pulled me out. Luckily, they knew how to resuscitate me. So they were going ham, mouth to mouth, everything pumping, got me breathing again. Managed to call the cops because there's a house luckily at the end of the road also because there was no houses nearby. So we're very lucky that the lady right beside us at the end of the street was awake and she called the cops or 911 in general. I got brought to a hospital and then I was hospitalized for a solid month. Had to learn how to speak, eat, function again. Basically I had to learn everything because I was fully dead and I fucking got really lucky that I was only pronounced dead for I think 3 minutes because any longer and you get the chance of severe brain damage. So I got resuscitated, month in the hospital, came back out of it, and it's been a little while now and I'm still kicking, but that's probably the worst accident I've ever experienced. And it was me being a fucking idiot. And I learned a lot from that accident. A lot of life lessons of it can all end in a second. Which is wild. That's about it. It was very fast. It was within seconds. I think the whole accident spanned probably a minute from the moment I crashed to the moment that I was unconscious.
That's holy crap.
Right?
Yeah.
Glad you're all right. Holy shit, glad everyone's all right in that.
Me too.
That's a lot to happen.
That's why I
at
warned because it's
17.
it's a very intense and heavy accident. And at 17, I mean, one thing, it was very early in my life, but 2, it's kind of good. It shouldn't have happened at all, but it was good that it happened when it did because I feel like it's a very valuable lesson to learn as a teenager who has that kind of invincibility mindset where you're the rebellious teen and I don't know, you're just a dickhead.
And then you
So
realize
it's very good for me to learn that the hard way because I realized that life, don't take it for granted. Don't be a fucking idiot to impress your friends or impress anyone. And be responsible. Be responsible, especially when there's other people involved. Harming yourself for your stupid responsibilities and your actions is one thing, but hurting others, I was so disappointed in myself in the accident. I was like, if I kill 2 other people with me, I am going to be so so disappointed in myself. But I didn't. Everyone was fine. We all made it out, which is very, very fucking lucky.
a quick
Yeah, holy
shout out
shit.
to anyone out there who's young and still thinks he may be invincible because you've had near misses. Just know you are more vulnerable than a freaking eggshell.
Hmm.
Somebody could
Yeah.
sneeze on you and take you down for a month.
Yeah, it's true.
Just
Please
remember
be
that.
responsible with yourself.
Well, damn.
But yeah. Sorry, it's very intense. I kind of dumped it very fast, but I promise I'm okay.
That's good.
I've learned everyone else is okay.
Very good.
That's
Well,
crazy. I mean, yeah, I'm glad everyone's all right.
Yeah. No, it's wild. I literally like,
You live and you learn.
yeah. I forget I forget that it's like an intense subject sometimes because I'll be at work and someone's like, "Oh, so I heard like around the grapevine that you've had an accident before," and then I'll just like casually drop it, and everyone's like, "Oh my god," and I'm like, "Oh, right. I mean, sorry. It was very serious." And I'm like
Yes,
giggling
yes, of
about it.
course.
I'm like laughing, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good." But it's because it's so surreal that like that happened that maybe it's a bit of block in my mind, but also I just cope with like lighthearted things and humor. In the hospital, I was laughing about it already, not because it was the accident, but laughing to get through it because fuck, that was wild. And humor really got me through that accident.
Yeah. Also, when something happens like a while ago, it's easier to kind of laugh about it.
Yeah,
that's
it's
true.
been like 6 years. That's a long time. That is a long time. Holy shit! I just realized how long it's been.
The
Fuck.
realization that time is
Old.
passing. Yeah, we're getting older.
Jesus. 6 years ago. Oh my god.
Well, shit. I don't know if I have
Right.
anything can top that. Because I've had, I mean, it's well known, I've had my fair share of car issues. Car
Mm.
wrecks, I think I've only actually been in 2, and one wasn't even like a wreck. My other members of my family have had far worse wrecks.
Yes, same.
Like, I have a sister who was in a wreck so bad she almost didn't live, and she has pretty severe brain damage to this day.
Mm.
My mother was in, I want to say she was probably in 8 wrecks total in her life,
Oh my
but every one
damn.
was never her
Holy
fault.
shit.
It was like 5 drunk drivers. One was like a cop who was trying to weave through traffic.
Oh my god.
It was things like that. So she's been a lot. I've only been. I mean, one was just like a little fender bender. I was working at a very, very intense warehouse job, and I kind of semi fell asleep at the wheel. I just bumped into somebody. It's like, oh, there's no damage. We're good. And we just left.
Mm.
And then the other one, I wasn't driving. So, hey, surprise out there. I used to be, and still semi am, a little bit of more of kind of a hippie, you would say. Just a little
Mm.
bit. And I used to actually grow bonsai trees, like little juniper trees in tiny pots.
Ah.
And bamboo. Bamboo is one of my favorite because you could shape bamboo. I could spell your name in bamboo given enough time.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's so cool.
Yeah, like that was just very fun to do. It was very fun for me. And my brother had a friend who was super into it, and he's the one who got me into it. And so then we would just like go hang out, go look at like trees and get clippings and kind of like work on our little plants. And there's actually like a little market specifically for this. And so we went there. We got some really cool ornate pots, some like little saplings, and a bunch of like a little special dirt kind of thing. There is a special dirt you can use. I think it has ashes in it for the soil.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's been probably 10 years since I was doing that, so it's been a minute. But I'll never forget this one because that guy used to work for my dad's company. My dad had a nice furniture company, and he took the van out, like the delivery van, because he was allowed to do that. It was a work van. And we took it to this little fucking bonsai market. And we were like, oh yeah, we're getting this. He loaded up the van with his stuff, put my stuff in there. And we're just driving back. And it's in the middle of kind of downtown Dallas. Have you ever been to Dallas? Don't ever go back.
Just don't. Just
No.
don't.
If you're thinking about visiting Dallas, do not. And if you want a good reason why, go open up Google right now, type in Dallas Highway, and look at the first 4 pictures. If you're curious at all. Oh, wait. Actually, if you scroll down a little bit in the third row, picture number 4, that is the main Dallas Highway on
Oh
Google.
my god.
Oh.
Why? Who built this?
People from Dallas. Anyway, so the way that highway works is they're all like individual lanes that go over, under, and then over again. It kind of looks like a weave blanket. And that was the roads that I drove on every day. Because you have multiple lanes literally going under one pass and up over another. So if any of them collapse, it's taking everyone out. It's pretty scary as fuck.
Yeah, no shit. That's awful.
Yep. And so
Oh my.
traffic there is always horrible, but we went on a weekend, so traffic was worse. And to this day, I still don't know if he was in the wrong lane and he didn't realize it, or if like the other person was in the wrong lane, because it's so fucking hard to tell sometimes, like which one has to turn which way. So we're just going, and then this dude just fucking hits the van. Doesn't like knock it over. We go skidding away. That dude goes skidding away. And it was just the saddest moment because all those pots, every single one of them, go slamming against the wall and just shatter. There's dirt everywhere. You got like trees.
Oh my God.
He had just spent $800 on like all that. Like that was his whole paycheck.
Dude. Oh my God.
All of them shattered, gone, mixing with porcelain, dirt, like broken little plants. And the dude, like gets out of his car, his front end's fucked up. The side of my dad's work van is punched in. This is my dad's van.
No.
And it was kind of funny because there was like a little thing of markers hanging from the rearview mirror because whenever there was like a ding, because it happened a lot, they would just take a marker and they would color in the van, and then they'd match the car they dinged and just color in their car when no one was around. Sorry for that little shout out there, but Dad and Eric, I know what you did. I was there. Anyway, that's how they never had accents before. They would just color in the other person's car with Sharpies. So no one would know. Pretty fucked up. But that was
honestly smart.
I mean, yeah. That was probably one. I was just a passenger there, and I wasn't like really paying attention. And when you kind of get in that wreck, but you're in a really big van, it doesn't hit you as hard. Like you kind of jerk to the side. But like,
yeah,
it's a lot more. It's not like stable, but it's like a lot more armor to that. That was probably the main wreck. Like I said, I've had car issues, but I haven't really been in like a lot of wrecks or like accidents or.
Yeah. Luckily, same. Just a lot of car issues.
You want car issues? I can tell you, but when I used to be a mailman and that car caught on fire.
Oh my God. Stop catching cars on fire.
That one, I don't know if that was I don't think that was my fault or not. I think I got sold a fucked up car. Like this one, I'm pretty sure I just rode it too hard, jumping across the US. I'll take responsibility for this one. But the other one, because I got both my cars from the same dealership. And it was like a 2003 model, so it was already pretty old. But it was like a work car, basically, where I just hopped in, delivered mail, went home, I had the other car there.
Right.
And I was like delivering mail. I think I had just finished, and I had to like go back to the post office to take back, letters that were going out or anything that was undeliverable, fill out the time card. And on the way there, my car like starts lightly smoking. I'm like, that's not good. Let's just make it back there first. So I just kept going. I pulled to a post office, like, I'm gonna let that cool off. I go and I punch out and I like drop all the stuff off. I get back in my car. It's like, okay, it's not smoking. Maybe the water level's low. So I just open the hood. It's like, it seems fine. Just pour some water in there. Always have a jug of water. It's an old car. I start driving home. It's maybe a 5-minute drive because that was what was nice. It was 5 minutes from my house to the post office. And then as I'm kind of driving, I don't know if you've ever lost power steering in a car.
Oh, I haven't, but I've heard of people who have.
I haven't, but I've experienced non-power steering, so I know the feeling of both.
Yeah, so Arva, imagine you suddenly have power steering and you're taking a turn and suddenly you don't have power steering anymore.
Oh
and that wheel wants to snap back to where it was. And you're just like, Jesus, like I had to pull that thing hard to the side because I was in the middle of a turn. And I'm just like, okay. And then there's suddenly more smoke than I remember there being. I'm like, what? And I pull over and there's no brakes, so I have to like just pull the handbrake up slowly to stop with my hazards on. Then my hazards went out, and I'm like, oh, that's
Oh
pretty
no.
bad. Hold up, what's going? I
Oh.
get out. There's no one there like around at that time because it was a nice little small town. Open up the hood, and there's just flames. I'm like, oh shit.
Flame on.
Jeez.
And yeah, that was that. I put out the fire because I always have. I'm not one who's prepared now. I have like a little fire extinguisher in the car. I have like a jug of water in the car. I got like blankets and shit. I'm old.
So
Mm.
very prepared.
Oh yeah,
Honestly, it's smart.
like everything I need
very
is in the
smart.
trunk basically. So I put that out, and I'm just kind of sitting there like, huh. Get that back. I actually left that whole car. I was like, if any family member wants this, you can fix it. Because it's not even worth it to try to like scrap it for 150, 200 bucks. It's been on fucking fire.
Nah, it's great. It's, what do you mean?
It's like,
Just a fire car.
so Jesus Christ, last I heard, I think my brother was trying to fix it up and take it. So I'm like, all right, go ahead and put like $1,000 into a car that's worth 200. All yours, bud. Merry Christmas. You're not getting anything this year.
That is your Christmas present.
I thought giving somebody a car is a nice present. It never stated that the car has to run.
I
It's
mean,
true.
you're not wrong.
Yeah, that's really the only time I've been in an accident.
Yeah, I think the only other time was the other story I told where I just like backed into someone, but it was like a second. We just said, "Oh, okay, we'll just go our separate ways." And that was it. Thankfully. Oh my god, I don't want to have any other accidents.
Yeah, that's
Well, hang on. Do you count flat tires as anything towards that, or do you have to like hit someone or have like? Is that a funny
It's
flat
not an-
tire?
sure.
Yeah, I think that counts.
Sure. Yeah, I said like doesn't have to be exclusively accidents.
Okay. Yeah, because like I said, most of mine has already been covered, and especially with that last one, that's 2 cars got on fire. But before that, it was the same car as delivering mail, and it was pretty early on. And so I had just gotten the route down. And the way that you deliver, I don't know if a lot of people know this, the way that you deliver mail in small towns, post offices, in America at least, are divided into city and rural. If you're in city,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, you get like a van, but like you're basically on the clock 24/7 kind of thing. Like they can make you come in whenever. If you're in the country, you're paid 40 hours a week. If you go over that, you're not paid more. If you go under that, you're still paid the same amount. But you have to use your own car.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, another fun thing about it, if you don't know the post office, when you get there in the morning, all that mail is hand sorted. There's not a machine that does it like Men in Black. That's like fiction.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
mom works for a post office, so I know all the tea about post office life.
Yeah, it's fucking shit. So I would get there in the morning. I would spend the first 2 hours sorting mail, and then like organizing the boxes. And I have to take the whole thing out on a big like bin, load it into my car correctly. So the back of my car is full of packages, and then the back seat is like full of mailboxes, like little plastic tubs with them. And in my actual driver's seat was the mail I was delivering. I was sitting in the passenger seat, reaching a leg over to hit the gas and the brake, and just driving with one hand while in the passenger seat because that's how I had to do it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it wasn't like a specially designed like mail delivery Jeep. No, it was just a regular car I got super cheap, and I'm just long limbed like a freak and can just drive from the passenger seat. But yeah, I was kind of doing that, and it's really hard to compensate at first for things like that. Like when you're so used to driving on one side and suddenly you're on the other, everything's like a lot closer on the other side than you realize. And so I was going, and I pull up to a mailbox, and I put some mail in there, and I start to pull away and go. I had like gotten the tire wedged into a storm drain without realizing it. And when I went, it literally ripped the tire like off.
Oh my god.
No.
And there was such a loud pop, and then just a hissing sound. And I like pull up a little bit, and I get out, and I'm looking like, uh, and I look over in the back seat. My jack is like under all the boxes with my spare tire under that, and it's raining, so I'm sitting there like,
No.
and I have to call the postmaster and tell like, hey, I got like a really bad flat tire, and she's like, oh, change it. I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna have to like pull all these out, so I'm gonna be running a little late. She's like, okay, change it. So I take all the packages out, and I'm basically like, well, sorry everyone, I'm dropping their boxes in the street in the rain. Get the jack, get the tire. I change the tire. I'm starting to load the boxes back up. Starting to, and then like another mail delivery person stops and is like, hey, we got called, said you had an accident. I was like, oh yeah, I just blew out a tire. Oh, here, let me help you. Just picks up all the boxes and heaves them in there out of order. And I'm like, oh, that sucks for
Okay.
me. And they drove off, and I get another call from the postman. It's like, why aren't you done yet? And I'm like,
What?
bruh.
What do you
Oh
mean?
It's like
my god.
they trace where you are based on like the little. Another hint: that little scanner that they use to scan the packages, that's being traced 5 times a second. So they sit and watch you.
Oh my god.
If you steal that thing, if you like steal a mail truck and that thing is in there, they know exactly where you are at every given time, like second. Just a little hint. So
Guess don't steal a mail truck.
don't steal a mail truck, or if you rob a mailman and you take that thing, they're gonna find you. So yeah, that was real fun because it took me probably 40 minutes because I had an entire route's worth of packages, like Amazon boxes and
Yeah.
everything. Because it's not always. It didn't always used to be like Amazon would come and drop off your stuff. Like the ones that you choose, whenever it gets here is fine. That's
Yeah.
dropped off by mailmen sometimes. Etsy boxes and packages and shit. Yeah. So that was real fun having a tire get like ripped halfway off. And the whole time this was happening, I really want to state this because I looked up and I saw her many times. There's like this older woman standing on her porch sipping coffee and staring at me the whole fucking time.
She's enjoying it, dude. She's enjoying the
She was
show.
having the time
She
of her
looked
life.
so pissed off and irritated that I was there. Like she looked like she was about to call the police on me for changing a tire.
Oh.
But I had like post office like worker stuff all over the car, and I had like didn't really have a uniform, but I had badges and stuff.
Right.
But it wasn't even like in front of her house, it was like the house next to her, and she was just maybe she was waiting for a mail. She was upset, she was waiting for something. I don't know. But she was fucking glaring like, this bitch gonna die today. Like, oh god.
But like, bitch, I can't do anything about this.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna be like, what? You wanna help?
Right?
That always annoys me when people do that.
I'm like, take a picture or help, one to the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, take a picture to last longer.
Right?
Uh,
I'm not a monkey at the zoo. I'm just having really bad car problems right now.
I am a monkey at the zoo, but you have to go to twitch.com/WesleyHCC to see it.
Yeah.
It's true. That's very true. I had a tire blowout once. This is probably the only other like kind of accident that I've had, but I drove down to a road trip to Oregon last year. It was 5 hours from where I'm from, which is not bad. Driving down was great, perfect. Oh my god, a wonderful 5-hour drive. I didn't even really have to take too many stops. I just did it in like one sitting. The way home, I knew it was gonna be bad because the day I started it was like also in the peak of summer, so it was like really fucking hot. So my AC stopped working the day I had to come home, which I was really excited about because
we
it was
love
like the
that.
hottest day. It was like probably close to 40 degrees Celsius, which is in the hundreds Fahrenheit, I think. Close to that. Very hot. Very, very hot. I had to start driving on the freeway with all my windows down because I
104.
didn't have AC, which was a nightmare. And then I had a tire or a nail go into my tire when I was down there, but I was, 5 hours away from home, so I just filled up with some air temporarily to make it home. And I guess the damage was worse than I thought because when I was driving like in the fast lane, going just a bit over the speed limit because I was in the passing lane. AC still not working, windows all undone, all of a sudden a huge bang. My rear tire blows up and pops. And then so this is like the first hour of my drive back too. So like I just started. And so I pull over and start just bawling my eyes out. I
Oh
just start
no.
bawling because like I'm so hot that I'm sweating just like especially pulling over. I have no AC, so I'm just like sweating in my seat. I'm stressed out because now I'm like 4 hours from home, with no spare tire because my car doesn't have a spare tire. It just has like tire filling, the tire like refill shit, which I can't use on a tire that's blown off the wheel. So I call my mom, and I'm like wailing on the phone. I'm like, "Oh, my tire blew up. I'm stuck in blah blah blah." She's like, "Okay, BCAA works down in America. Like, just call them. They should be able to get you something. Um, get a tow truck." But it took like an hour and a half. So I'm sitting in my car, like my seats were like dripping sweat because I was so sweaty. And all my clothes are off too. I'm on the side of the road and just like my underwear in my car because I'm so hot. Get the tow truck, tows me to the place I need to go. Get my tire on, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, okay, I can go home." It's been like 2 hours now, and I'm like, I can go home. Maybe make it before it's like nighttime back home. And get in my car, and like the gods were smiling on me for one day in my life, my AC turned on also. And so when I got to drive,
Oh hell
I
yeah.
had AC and I had a tire that works, and the rest of the trip home was good. But that, oh my god, I hated it. I also thought it like destroyed my car because it was like a really loud pop and it blew the tire completely off the wheel. But I thought my tire fully exploded, so I was expecting like my car to be torn to shreds because
When
tires could be so destructive. But it wasn't. My car is no damage, and I was so happy.
if you've never
I
heard a
was terrified.
tire like pop, that shit is so terrifying.
Holy fuck!
It
It was
is
like a
loud.
gunshot.
It
It's
is very loud.
like, if you need a cigar cutter, pop a tire, their assholes will slam shut so fast.
It's true. I've never had a tire pop around me before. Like I've seen them happen. I've seen them on video, but I've never had one happen. And I all my windows were open, so I just shit my pants. And there was smoke out the back of my car because it was rubbing, and I was like, "Oh," I'm like,
Oh
"Everything's
fuck.
destroyed. My car's ruined. My wheels ruined." Thankfully, it wasn't, but that was still a nightmare.
Yeah, as
Oh
long as you
my
don't keep
god.
driving on it, you're fine. But it's the
Yeah.
scariest fucking sound. Like you
Holy.
just got
I thought someone
shot.
shot me.
Yes.
I was like, I'm in America. Someone can shoot me.
Oh yeah, that's just allowed in America.
I was like, I don't know.
Wait, what part
Maybe
of
some guy
America?
was mad. It was Oregon.
I
It was by
mean,
Portland.
it's Oregon. Everyone's got a gun there too, so yeah.
I saw somebody in those trucks with that sticker on the back with like a gun. I'm like, is it one of those assholes? Did you shoot me finally?
Finally, have they
Is
been
this
hunting
the
you?
end?
I just always am scared. I pass that truck and I'm like, they're gonna shoot me. They aren't, but I just get nervous. I see the sticker on the back and I'm like,
That's never the one that you have to worry about that you're gonna
Uh-oh.
get shot.
It's true.
Like actually, I'll say that's like the most responsible gun people because they don't want somebody to know about all of their illegal guns, and so they're more careful. It's like the people who brag about it more are the ones who are a lot less safe and more likely to shoot you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I have one more. It's not anything crazy. It's more of like it actually happened very recently. It was a few weeks ago. Maybe a month now. It might have been a month now. So, I like to send people things. It's fun. And
Mm.
recently I have been making cookies for some people. So I was sending VTemp some cookies and I needed to buy a padded envelope to put them in. So I wanted to go to the dollar store because the post office overcharges for those bad boys way too high. You
Yeah.
like the same price of one is what you get for like a pack of like 4 at the
To
dollar store.
to be fair, the post office is a very capitalist business. It's not an actual government body. It's a government sponsored business.
Hmm.
That's very good. But I going to the dollar store. It was like a 2 p.m. on a Wednesday or something.
The most dangerous time.
And dude, packed. Parking lot was packed. I don't know why so many people were out and about. Like, don't you guys have jobs? Hello? Um, but I saw a parking spot, so I went to pull into the parking spot, and I just heard clunk, and I was like, oh, oh no. And I pulled out, and I had hit the truck and just scraped it a little bit with my front. It was like there right behind their rear passenger tire. I hit it with my um bumper on my driver's side, and it was just a small scrape, and I stared at it for so long, and I was like, could I reasonably just leave right now? And I thought about it for a while, but somebody saw me.
Ah,
Somebody saw it happen. And they
No.
snitched on me, dude. They snitched. So I was like, fuck, dude. And of course, the car that I hit is like brand new. Like, it's not brand new, but like 2021 Chevrolet. So, like, new car. And the guy found out, the woman was, the wife. She was the one that was driving it at the time. Nobody was in the car, which is good because it's not as big of a deal if you hit a car that nobody's in. Their dog was in there, but they don't count as people, apparently. So she was driving at the time, but her husband is like an oil man. So they have money. So this was like a nice car. Nice truck, I guess.
whoop.
And I was like, fuck, dude. Like, of course I hit like the nice new car that has no scratches on it. And I was like, I was so upset. And I called my dad and I was like, Dad. And it was like totally my fault, like fully 100% my fault. I didn't have enough space to get into the parking spot. I thought I could squeeze in there and I couldn't. So it was fully my fault. It just felt so ironic that I was literally trying to send like free cookies to my friend and I hit somebody's car. And to top it all off, dude, I bought the wrong size packets.
No.
So I had to go back and get the right size. And I had like PTSD in that parking lot. I park super far away from the store now, like other end of the parking lot where nobody parks. Because I'm scared of hitting somebody again. And it was fully my fault. And my dad was like, the damage isn't that much. Like, we could pay out of pocket for this instead of going through insurance, because then insurance is so much more of a fuck around, and it gets on your record, and then your insurance premiums go up. But this woman, the first thing she did was call her insurance immediately, and her insurance gave her this insurance person did not ask what the damage was, because for those of you who don't know, you do not have to report an accident unless it's over a certain amount of dollars in damage. I believe it's $2,000 here. This was not $2,000 worth of damage, so she did not have to report it, but she did. She went to the police station and reported it, and they called me, so I had to go to the police station and file a report too. And it was so stupid and unnecessary because it was just this tiny scratch. And in the end, we offered to pay out of pocket to them. We were like, we will pay for this so we don't have to go through insurance. And they said, no, we're going to go through insurance.
Oh,
That's annoying.
So we went
that's
through
really
insurance.
annoying.
I was like, fuck off, dude. Like, come on.
Right?
Why? And
We
now,
offered to pay.
yeah, and I feel like maybe they're just worried about us not paying up, which is fair. I mean, we wouldn't do that, but it's fair to have, that fear. But at the same time, like, your vehicle has been marked now as being in an accident. So that depletes the value of your vehicle. If we had just done this like out of pocket, not involving insurance, that never would be on there. So now when they go to sell that vehicle in the future, because I'm sure they probably will. I mean, it's a new car. it's gonna be worth less now.
Yeah.
Whereas
That's
my
true,
car,
actually. Yeah.
it's old. Like I have a 2004 Saturn Vue. It's old.
That
It's
value's
not.
already hit its limit.
I'm not selling it. I'm riding it until it breaks, and it will probably break in the next couple years. It's literally probably not even worth like $1,000. I got a scratch on my front bumper. I didn't report it. I was like, no. When I went to the police station, I was like, I have no damage, because I don't care. If anybody hit me and scratched my vehicle, I'd be like, fuck, I don't care, dude. It's old. Even if I had a newer car, I feel like it was just so small and insignificant, and it was in a spot that you can't really see. I would have just like been like, don't worry about it. But they did not do that,
Sad.
unfortunately. So yeah, that was very recent, and I was upset about it because it was fully my fault, and I was like trying to do a good deed, and I'm like, fuck you,
Maybe in the
fuck you,
ass.
universe, what the hell?
That's what you get for being
Bullshit.
nice.
Yeah.
Right?
A little off topic. Have you ever scared somebody? Like, have you ever had a fob for your key that had like the alarm on it? Have you ever scared somebody with that?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna assume you have.
Only like once or twice.
I have, and it's a very short story. It's basically when I worked retail, it was like we were closing, and I wasn't a manager there, so I was just like having to sit and wait for the manager to count the drawers, and there was two, and they were both like counting the drawers. And I was up at the front, and I was looking out the window. I was like, there's like people out there leaning on my car. And I was kind of looking like they're having a conversation, like they were parked. I saw them park not close to mine. They started walking, they stopped and started leaning on my car to talk. And I'm like, huh. I just look back, it's like, hey, Dave, not my manager. Want something funny? And she's like, ooh, do it. And I hit the panic button. Alarm starts going off. The dude jumps. I realize the dude's holding like a puppy that I guess they were selling or looking at.
Oh my god!
I didn't
You
see the
traumatized the puppy.
I didn't see the puppy.
Aw.
I
Dude,
felt
what the
so
heck?
horrible. The alarm's going off. The dude jumps. Everyone's like running away from the car. But I didn't see the puppy at first. I actually over there. I was like, "Why are you starting stealing my car?" And then I saw it. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I was scaring the shit out of them. They all ran back to the car and apologized. Like, "We're not stealing. We're not stealing. Sorry, I'm sorry." I feel so sad for scaring that puppy though.
You traumatized that dog for the rest of its life.
I did. I didn't mean to.
It doesn't
Listen,
matter. Dude.
sacrifices must be made because of the
If it
But it was funny.
for the funny, because I'm pretty sure that
Right.
dude shit his pants because the alarm goes off. And I'm a fairly big dude, so you have a big dude like running out the door screaming, "You're stealing my car!" Like,
Yeah, I would never come back.
yeah, that dude definitely shat himself right then and there. A 6'2" at the time, I was probably 250 pounds of muscle just sprinting. It's like the
Jesus.
juggernaut coming at
You
you.
instinctively run away even if you did nothing wrong.
Right? I'm sorry, I didn't do anything, but I'm scared.
That is just a scary scene. I just didn't want them leaning on my car. Like you brought your
Let's
own
do that.
cars, which I guess they were walking the dog.
Right?
Because I looked at it now, I was like, yeah, because I kind of parked close to like a little like not grass area, but it was like a dirt area where some trees were planted.
Right.
So they probably walked the dog over there.
I just never can get the concept of like leaning on someone's car.
Yeah, that's what was really
That's
bothering
so
me. Like they
crazy.
full on were leaning like with their foot up on my
yeah,
door,
dude.
and I'm like,
Oh my-
nah,
It's not your car.
nah, we're not doing that.
Right?
So I feel bad
Just
about
lean
the
on the
dog.
tree.
I feel bad about the
Yeah.
dog, but at the same time, that dude deserved it. And like whoever he was with, I'm pretty sure they just went back to their car and drove off, which is normal if you have that scene running at you screaming.
Yeah.
I went back like he shat himself.
That's good. That's close to. I don't want to have too many stories of me doing it, but like I've had friends that have had someone like lean on their car and they'll set off the alarm. and then the people shit their pants and they're like running all over the place. Ah,
Mm-hmm.
I set the car alarm off.
Always.
That's always great to see.
How'd you
A
scare
reminder
somebody?
to get off people's cars.
Yeah.
If it's not your car,
Yeah.
don't lean on it.
Don't lean on
Don't
anyone
touch
else's
the
car.
car.
Like, for real.
It's so rude.
Did you scare
Well-
somebody, Arva?
No, just friends doing it.
Ah,
Yeah,
I've
just-
had
okay.
someone lean
I
on their
see.
car. Yeah. Because
Fuck
if
'em.
someone leaned on my car, they would not be alive. In Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
Minecraft,
Yeah.
Minecraft.
That's
Minecraft.
my baby. You don't touch him.
My car's a piece of shit, so I guess you can lean on it if you want to.
Yeah, if I had one of my piece of shit cars, okay, I'm more willing. But my car now, I still haven't paid her off, and she's nice.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna-
kind.
I was gonna say my car. It was like 2014, and my car was a 2013 at the time. So
Basically brand new.
yeah, like just don't do it.
Please don't do that. There's a tree right beside you. Lean on that.
There for real was. There was actually like 3 trees in that one area.
Oh my god.
Hate that guy.
Well, I hate to tell you, Westy. I think Arva might have won.
Oh, I already knew. The second Arva said this, I was like, I'm not even gonna keep track of my points on this imaginary board because I know I don't have like good. All my good accident stories were basically done in my move here, and I wasn't allowed to reuse that.
Yeah, you already told that story. You can't do it again.
That's
Damn
fair.
it.
Those
Even
were good,
so,
though.
I mean, Arva literally almost died.
I'm gonna do it like
That's hard to beat.
I'm gonna do an episode of repeats where you have to perfectly retell a story that you remember from the
Oh my
last
God.
episode.
Shit.
I'm gonna lose.
Absolutely, me too. My memory is very spotty. I'll
Word
be
for
like,
word.
I
Make
know
it-
there was someone moved, right?
Yeah.
Someone
You
may have moved
know-
at one point.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think someone moved, and they had trouble.
Imagine
all.
AFK
Yeah.
having to sit and listen to it side by side to check.
We wouldn't torture her like that.
I would.
Or would we? Okay,
Oh,
never mind.
there's
No,
the
I
answer.
would. I know she's gonna do an edit. I know there's gonna be like a fox with a knife somewhere on the screen. Probably around me. Check around the chair. See if you can find her. Where's Waldo? Where's AFK? Maybe she's on the shelf in the back. Oh, she hasn't done that yet
Alright.
either.
Well, congratulations, Arva, on not dying.
Thank you. That's a pretty big feat.
Very poggers of you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You have a victory speech?
Thank you to my friends 2002 Corolla S for being a real one till the end when I put you out of your misery. I'm sorry about that one.
And Westy?
I am- I am full of orange chicken and Starbucks. And for once, I'm glad I did not win an episode, as this is not an episode that you want to win.
Yeah, that's
It's true.
true. That's true.
It's true.
Bittersweet victory.
Yeah.
Now I have more time to plan.
There you go. Arva, you have no time to plan.
It's
Congratulations.
okay. I got some.
No
I got
time. Next
some
episode now. Let's go.
ideas. Fuck. I got some themes I want to talk about.
No, Arva needs to nap.
Yeah.
He's got a stream coming up.
Oh yeah, right. Oops. I got some time. I can nap.
Quick
All
nap.
right. Well, thank you for
Mhm.
listening to this episode of the Unintelligibles. Hope we didn't give you any trauma, like how Westy traumatized that puppy.
Listen, if you're that guy who was leaning on a car outside of a Petco in Texas and the car alarm went off and a very large man came running at you screaming, I want you to know you can go fuck yourself. You can eat my ass with a flavored spoon and you can pick the flavor.
Oh, that's so nice. I wouldn't have
That's
let
so
us
nice
use
of
the
you.
flavor.
Yeah, that's so nice.
That's Adrian's now favorite saying. I'm deciding to steal it.
It's good. I like it.
It's
Yours
mine
now.
now.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Unintelligibles. Make sure to give us all a follow. You can find me at twitch.tv/FarrahTheBat, Twitter at FerrisSilvertail. Arva is Arva on Twitch. Arva_69, right? On Twitter.
Yeah.
Got it. And Westy just got a name change on Twitch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now he is Westy HCC on Twitch and Westy HCC on Twitter, right?
Literally everywhere. Twitch, Twitter,
Yeah.
TikTok, YouTube, everywhere.
All match now.
All matchy.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, consistency. I could never.
Right.
We'll catch you later, gamers. See ya.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.